Hello, my name is Jason O, and welcome to my episode recap for the 25th and final episode of Fate Stay Night's Unlimited Blade Works that is titled Epilogue. And so, again, as the title suggests, this is an epilogue of what happens after the Holy Grail War. Pretty much get a look into 2 years after the Holy Grail War, where Rin and Shiro are pretty much living a life together, and the status of the relationship is not really mentioned too much. I mean, it's suggested here and there of just body language and how they interact with each other. I mean, you see a deeper chemistry with each other, and it does make sense why a lot of fans are rooting for this relationship here. They don't really kiss at all. So that's really disappointing there, because if you want to make them, a relationship, a very close one, boyfriend, girlfriend kind of thing, just have them kiss. I don't think there's any problem with that. I think it would satisfy a lot of fans at that point, instead of just them shaking hands at the end. And I'll get to that later on, but still, that's very weird on how they treat their relationship. I do get their chemistry, again, I mentioned that before, but still, I would like a little bit more of that if you're trying to build this up into a deeper kind of relationship there. Again, as mentioned before, they skip ahead 2 years after the conclusion of the Holy Grail War. Rin and Shiro are now in England, pretty much attending Clock Tower, where they're a part of. It's pretty much a place where mages can continue to hone their skills, and they've been there for the past 6 months. Shiro is brought on as Rin's pupil. Of course, Rin brought on as the Tosaka family heir. She's allowed to bring a follower with her, and so Shiro, he's trying to pursue magic, but however, he's sort of having his doubts, because he still wants to pursue his dream of becoming a hero of justice, and Rin is sort of there to sort of keep him in check and make sure he doesn't end up like Archer, or just have a tragic end to his life, trying to have him have a happy life for himself. And I get a little piece of sort of world building here, where they talk about the Holy Grail War and how it's sort of considered a minor ordeal here at Clock Tower in the Far East. And so I guess the Holy Grail War, despite being a big major thing as we've seen in this season, and especially in the whole series here, it's not really a major thing for everyone else. There's a lot of other things, crazy disasters that are to come if Rin and Shiro are to pursue magic, and considering other things as well. And so obviously there's maybe some more things to come for Rin and Shiro in their future, perhaps. And we have one of two cameos in this. We have Luvia Gelte Edelfelt, who can be seen in Fate Khalid. Is pretty much an acquaintance of Shiro and Rin. They meet each other in their apartment. At least that's what they talk about. It's how Luvia was the one who helped them get their apartment, and she's a neighbor of them as well. She practically throws herself onto Shiro, as she calls them, and that of course upsets Rin. And so they were pretty cool MMA type of fights in sort of their self-defense class. That's very cool fights. I like the gear that they had on. I also like how Shiro and Rin, they're sort of aged up a little bit. It's 2 years though, but still they have matured after high school, of course, and I do like how that is shown through their clothing. I mean, Shiro's wearing like a green cardigan, Rin's sort of wearing an updated version of her outfit, and no more of the bows on her hair, and so I do like the look of their future selves. I also like the look of Luvia and Rin in the MMA type of fights that they had. Very fun, very visually appealing, and so again, just a little minor thing there, and so one of the highlights of the episode for me. What I thought was a little bit forced on, though, was when they went to Glastonbury and they went to the supposed resting place of King Arthur, of course, Saber, and Shiro gets his final goodbye to Saber and thanks her for one last time. Very quick thing. I like how they just went with it and didn't really go too long with that. However, I wasn't really a big fan of it because, again, I know this is fictional and all, but King Arthur isn't really a real person. Glastonbury is an interesting choice for that to set King Arthur's resting place, and again, it was very forced. I mean, we just saw Saber on a grave. We didn't see a vision of Saber. I thought, like a sort of Force ghost kind of thing would have been cool there if you wanted really to get an emotional moments out of that. So I wasn't really sure why that was there. I get, we wanted some more closure, I guess, but it seemed kind of forced onto me because it wasn't really done right, at least in my opinion anyway. However, in Glastonbury, you do get cool moments with Shiro and Rin, how Shiro does thank Rin and how he realized that his life is pretty much insignificant, how insignificant the Holy Grail War was, and that he has to be prepared for more future events that may be similar or deadlier than the Holy Grail War. He gave him a sort of perspective on his life and how there's so much bigger in life as well. Kind of ironic because we get a little thing at the end where it's sort of a small world, as we do see, but as Shiro talks about how life is a lot bigger than it seems, other than the things that's going around him. That so much more is going on at many moments in life, and how he is thankful for Rin for him to show that. And we see that Rin and Shiro are pretty much determined to grow more as people, and how their experiences in life will help them grow as people and sort of help them gain more perspective on life. We do get an interesting look 1 month after the Holy Grail War. Pretty much it's the second year of high school has just ended for them. So 1 year left of high school for Rin and Shiro. Sakura is taking care of Shinji. Of course, Shinji being his similar self, but still, sort of taking it as it is. Sakura is trying to, bring up Shinji a little bit, and that'd be pretty interesting, especially since Heaven's Feel is going to come out, I believe, next year. The movie will come out. I'm not sure when the movie's coming out, but still, the Heaven's Feel arc will get adapted into a film, and so it's pretty cool to see Sakura for that last flashback scene, because of course we'll see a lot more of her in the third route of Fate Stay Nights. And we get a look at Shiro. Pretty much he's already a pupil of Rin. A month after the Holy Grail War, she invites him over to Clock Tower to join him on her journey into becoming a full-fledged mage, and helping Shiro also become a proper mage as well, and sort of her determination to straighten him out, and sort of straighten him out to become a proper mage and a proper man as well, and sort of making her life goal perhaps as well. And so that was really, really weird moments there for me, because I can't really believe that Rin would actually do that. She's a good individual character. I don't really want her to sort of dedicate her life to Shiro, even though, of course, a lot of fans ship them together. However, I don't really mind that as well, but still, I think Rin would work better as an individual character instead of trying to always be beholden to Shiro, trying to straighten him out and sort of change him to what he wants her to be. But still, Shiro, of course, we see him going back and forth to what he wants to be in life, and how he always wants to be the same person he wanted to be during the Holy Grail War, but he is conscious that, the way he is going about life, the way Rin wants him to go about life, is the right way. However, he doesn't really want to go that route as well, and so we see that back and forth throughout the whole entire episode. And I mentioned the first cameo with Luvia. The second cameo from the Told Type Moon universe is Waver Velvet from Fate Zero. You can see him there, a younger version of him when he was in the Holy Grail War. Shiro does pass by him. Waver asks Shiro why he continues to pursue magic, even though he survived the Holy Grail War. And so a very interesting question. You can ask that. And so Shiro pretty much tells Waver that he isn't really sure himself, but he's determined to become a hero of justice. And so Waver does call his dream idiotic, as most people would, but he says it's not humorous as well. It's not really something you look down to. It's a very ambitious goal, but it's still maybe not the right goal you would want for your life. And he calls it idiotic, but not humorous. He also calls the world a small place. So again, ironic, because Shiro sees the world as a much larger place. Waver meeting the son of Kiritsugu. Of course, he knew him for a little bit, I guess, from Fate Zero, and he's aware that Kiritsugu wanted to become a hero of justice, and so Shiro is also following the same dream as Kiritsugu. And so this whole back and forth dream ideal that Shiro is looking for comes down to when he gets invited to the Mages Association. Shiro decides to turn down their invitation, and he pretty much cannot change who he wants to be and what he wants to be as well. And so Rin pretty much figured this would happen. She and Shiro have a very good chemistry with each other, so I'm sure she would know what Shiro would want with his life and sort of the decisions that he would make. And so instead of yelling at him, because we don't really see much tsundere tropes from Rin, which I really much appreciated, we see that she's willing to help Shiro on where he'll end up and how far he can go. Even though he might end up in the same fate as Archer, maybe he can go a little bit farther than Archer in his life, end up being a happy man, and sort of have Shiro and Rin have a happy ending with each other. That's sort of what their ideal and what they're striving for with each other. The two are willing to follow each other to the end, having their happy time, seeing the sights, suffering with each other, but as long as they can achieve a happy ending with each other, that's what they're looking for. And so that's very cute, I would say, but again, not really that satisfactory for me, personally. I think maybe because the way the season, especially the second half of the season, came about, I wasn't really satisfied with all that. I didn't really agree with Shiro as a character. I understood what he was looking for as a character. However, I'm not really rooting for Shiro at all, mostly for Rin. However, Rin, she's sort of, playing second fiddle to Shiro and his dreams, rather than Rin getting her what she wants in life as well. And so I was very disappointed with the whole conclusion of this, because again, I was just more disappointed with the season season, especially the second half of the season, how that turned out compared to the first half, where they were building up something pretty good. However, it didn't really pan out the way I would like it and the way I would, sort of be satisfied with the whole entire series. And again, with the way Shiro and Rin's sort of story arc ends, it would have been cool to see them kiss. Why not? If you want to build them up as that kind of relationship, having a happy ending with each other. Them kissing isn't really that tragic or anything negative, and so I don't see why not. You would do that, just kiss already. That's sort of what you want to see from them, but they just shake hands. We get a pan out and see the city and sort of whole slow fade to black to end Fate Stay Night. We do get an after credit scene, however, where Archer has his monologue talking about how Emiya fought for what he believed in despite regretting his decision for his entire life, but he knows that in the end he is not wrong for pursuing his ideals of becoming a hero of justice. And we see that Archer sort of disappears, sort of like particles kind of thing, and we see Shiro pop up in a desert by himself and just smiling for his dream, I guess, achieving that and sort of pursuing that ideal he's looking for. And so I can't really say I'm disappointed with the epilogue because it's sort of what's made sense for how the season ended for Fate Stay Night. And so I would want to say I'm disappointed, but still the epilogue was pretty good. I just wanted more from the whole entire series in general, especially the last half of this season. And so they're very disappointed from the series in general, but I still very much like the series overall, I would say. And so for rating for this epilogue, I'm probably going to give this a 7.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it for what it was. The Waver cameo is pretty fun to see because it's nice to see Waver, again, one of the best characters from Fate Zero. The Rin, Luvia, MMA battle is pretty cool as well. And again, the conversations that Rin and Shiro had showed a lot more of the chemistry with each other. And so again, I really mind them as a couple, but they didn't really kiss at the end. And so again, what are we doing here? Stop beating around the bush. They're very clingy with each other as well, and so again, why are we beating around the bush? Just make them a full-fledged couple, and that would have been more satisfactory for most fans, I would assume. But still, don't forget to put your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below on the epilogue of Fate Stay Night. I'm probably going to do a review of the whole entire series, maybe in a couple weeks or so. Probably rewatch some episodes and sort of get another second look at the season, especially season 2 and the whole series in general itself. But that is it for my episode recap for the epilogue, the 25th and final episode of Fate Stay Night's Unlimited Blade Works. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Bye-bye.